Okay, party people in the place to be. Tuesday, 8:15. You know the run-ins. We
Yep,
always set it off like this.
it must be Tuesday.
Yes, it must be Tuesday down in Sports Talk in the building. I am left-handed at RM Desk on Twitter, which is right now. That's my Cody in the building. Yada Bear, aka Kimbrowski, aka Philly Fanatic, and all of that. A lot of stuff to get into. Summertime vibes. Hope everybody's enjoying the beginning of their summer. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
4th of July is gonna be here before you know it. Happy birthday to my big brother Daryl. You know what I mean? Make it do what it do. I'm gonna put something in the air for you, my guy, besides some fireworks. That's how we giving it up, man. It's a summertime vibe. Down in
Yeah.
Sports Talk, we in the building. Y'all the Bears here. You know what I mean? Um, Hope she saw the Jalen Hurts Funko Pop.
That thing is crazy.
You know what I mean? Yeah, yo. So everything is everything. We just wilding out right here. You know, we're gonna get into some NBA free agency. I really didn't want to talk about it. You know how I give it up, man. When it's out of season, I don't really talk about it. But yo, this is a must. Y'all the Bear kind of like put me in a chokehold and say, yo, we gotta talk about this.
Got
Basically,
to.
there's too much going on. So we definitely gonna get into that heavy WNBA. We're gonna talk about that. Shakur Stevenson got a fight coming up this weekend. We're gonna talk about that.
Yeah.
And let's set it off. I mean, you already know what it is. NBA free agency, man. You know, in full effect. You know what I'm saying? What do you think has been one of the major power moves so far in NBA free agency?
Um, I would actually probably say Boston giving Jayson Tatum all that bread. You
Mm,
know, them coming off a championship, um, especially in this new CBA. You know, he got an extension, 5 year extension, 315 million. You know, last year they just gave Jalen Brown, 300 plus mil. This season, they gave Drew Holiday like 100 and some odd million. They gave Derek White, what, 3 years, 4 years, like 125. Where Boston getting all this money at, and then you turn around, the franchise is up for sale.
yeah, they
The
try to sell the
royalties,
team, like what they
yeah,
got going
yeah.
on,
So
right?
after they, build up this price tag of almost $1 billion, in signing
Starting
with the
lineup,
starting
right?
lineup,
Mm-hmm.
you turn around and now you're selling the team. That's to me, was wow and kind of shocking. Um, One other thing is kind of shocking. Klay Thomas leaving the Warriors.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
shocked that he's leaving the Warriors because between him, Draymond, and Steph, I always thought that Klay would be the first one to exit. You know, Um, but him going to the Mavs, which was surprising because you would think that he would want to be a Laker, to follow behind his father, who was a Laker, and him being an LA guy, being an LA guy, in the lighter part of his career, at the end of his career, you would figure that, oh, Klay Thompson definitely want to go to, the Lakers, to
Now,
like to like fulfill like a fantasy because like I said, his dad was a Laker. He got
are we are we fulfilling enough? Are we fulfilling enough fantasies already on the Lakers?
I'm just saying for his
You
standpoint,
know what I
but
mean?
but him
But
going to Dallas, it was surprising, a huge pickup for the Mavs.
absolutely.
Who just was in the finals that nobody except for one person would have thought that the Mavs were made to the finals. Now to pick up Klay Thompson, um, which is you gotta wonder what Klay Thompson are you getting, because this is a Klay Thompson that um, had a declining year this year. He had 2 years where he was out because of injuries. I heard a lot of talk that they were saying that the Warriors kind of did him wrong, and he went to the Mavs by taking less money because the Warriors offered him 2 years, 48 million. He signed with the Mavs 3 years, 50 million. And when people think that the Warriors did it wrong, I'm like, I kind of agree with what Shannon Sharp has said. Was they gave him 4 years, 140 something million. Out of those 4 years, he missed 2 years. They didn't ask for his money back. He missed 2 whole years, and then we came back and won the championship. So I feel like the Warriors didn't do him wrong. They offered him a decent contract, 2 years, 48 million. He decided that he didn't want that. He wanted more money, but he ended up getting less for dollars. 3 years, 50 million. I just think he just needed a new change of scenery. It wasn't a really good look from this season. Like I said, a roll down year. So, end of a dynasty. 4 championships. With six finals appearance, 4 chips.
Let
Hey,
me say something. Like the Klay Thompson scenario, people, like you said, people are surprised by it. I'm not really surprised by it. Like you said, that situation in Golden State was bound to come to an end anyway. Am I surprised that Klay Thompson is the first one to go? Yeah, I'm surprised. I thought it would always, be Draymond Green. You know what I mean?
nah.
But again, it is what it is. I think, but Klay Thompson, I think that felt like he needed a change of scenery. He wants to be somewhere where he could shoot, 300 3-pointers a year, and I think he's going to get that chance in Dallas.
Oh, most definitely.
He's going to definitely, get to do his thing. And as far as following, in his father's Michael Thompson, in his father's footsteps, man, I think that Klay is a little bit older. You know what I mean? It'd be nice. You know what I mean? But I think that Klay, kind of wants to see if he could do it without Steph and Draymond.
Yeah, I can see that.
And I think that he wants to be kind of redeem himself, because remember when they lost the play-in tournament game, he went 0 for 10.
0 points.
You know what I mean? So again, I think that Klay Thompson, making that move was a power move. Staying in the Western Conference, that's crazy. They're gonna have a video montage for him when they go to when Dallas goes to go, San Francisco.
Of course, I wouldn't expect anything less. And also one other thing about him going to Dallas, there's no pressure on him. There's no pressure on Klay Thomas to perform at a certain level like in Golden State, because in Golden State, it's always a splash.
I beg to differ. I think there is pressure on him.
Nah, I don't think it's any pressure.
I think there is pressure on him. Not pressure in the sense that he has to be the guy, over Kyrie and Luka. That's never going to happen. But pressure in the sense that we got you, we gave you this bread. You're supposed to be able to help us spread the floor, and you're supposed to hit these threes. And you're not going to shoot 41%, but it would help if you shot 41%. You know what I mean?
See, I see it differently with you with that. I see it as they're like, you chose to come here. You don't have to be the man. The spotlight is not on you. We're going to make it easier for you to have open looks just to shoot. Only thing you have to do is shoot and play some defense. Because, again, Klay, we have to, keep in mind, not only is he a good shooter and a good scorer, but he's also a great defender also. So that right there, to me, is a win-win for Dallas. Because as we've seen in the finals, Boston scorched them with with their wings. And I feel like all the moves that teams are making in this free agency is to defeat Boston. Because excuse me, with Boston resigning their whole starting lineup, it's like they have to be the favorites.
Oh yeah, I mean, they knocked everybody out the box on their way to a world championship, so you definitely can't, ignore that. But and they get props for that. Tobias Harris, going to purgatory. I mean Detroit.
Well,
I want
going
to hear
back
your
home.
view. I want to hear your views on that because you always said that he wasn't he wasn't long for Philadelphia.
Nah, um, him going back to Detroit. That's where it all started. You know, he started out in Detroit. I guess he's going to end his career in Detroit. Excuse me, because what 2 years
$52 million.
stealing money, stealing,
I mean, I don't feel as bad as it. When I remember when JJ Redick
stealing.
got what is it 23 from the Clippers for 1 year. I was like, whoa. But
Stealing.
yeah, stealing. And again, at the end of the day, he's going to be a veteran for a young team.
Yeah.
I think that he's bringing that baggage though from Philly because he was you know best. He was
Yeah.
up and down with the Sixers and stuff like that. But I think that you can't sneeze at the fact that he's going to probably earn about $300 million before his career is said and done.
Oh my God, so much money. Yeah, he'll be a veteran presence if they can see him because he disappears all the time. His dad calls him the scoring assassin. I don't know. Maybe there will appear there for him. But it's no love lost. We're happy to see him go. He's Detroit problem now. That's the way I look at it. He's
I hear you. I hear you. And so now since we're talking about problems and what we like and what we don't like so much, I need you to speak in regard to Paul George and his signing with the Philadelphia 76ers, your beloved team.
Yeah.
How do you think he's going to fit in with the Tyrese Maxeys and the big guy down there, Joel Embiid, and how are they going to mesh together? And who's the man now out of that big three right there? And George, Maxey, and Joel Embiid.
Well, it's always Joel. Everything goes through Joel. That's not even a question right there.
Now you got two dudes you can't trust to be on the court.
But I trust him more than I did Tobias Harris.
I hear that.
Okay, so
and you got rid of Batum.
I look at it as a huge upgrade for us.
Okay.
He definitely fits in with our team. Because again, he don't have to be the man. We have, an MVP, former MVP, superstar center who's a scoring machine. Then we have a young guy, Tyrese Maxey, coming off his first All-Star, really, beginning to be the guy that we all expect him to be. And now we bring in another guy that is more reliable than what we had in the past for the past 5 years. Our style of basketball, it runs through Joel. A lot of pick and rolls. Between Joel and Maxey. And now we can incorporate Paul. We can incorporate Paul George and Joel. And
if he can stay healthy.
Again, last season it was the healthiest that he'd been. So we can't use that with Paul George because Paul George is not Kawhi. Paul George was playing. He was playing last season. So I'm happy with it. I think it was the best scenario for us to be able to bring in a guy like that who had a really good season last year. On top of not having to trade any of those picks that we got from James Harden. That was the beauty about this free agency pickup for the Sixers. We didn't have to use none of those draft picks that we got from the Clippers. So we still have a pocket full of first rounders that we can trade to help fill in the rest of the roster. Another big pickup that was huge in my eyes for the Sixers was Andre Drummond. Now we have a backup center. We haven't had. He was our best.
Go ahead. I was going to say we had Andre Drummond.
Again, he was our best backup center that we had for Joel. we had to package him to trade him to Brooklyn when we did the James Harden trade. But ever since we traded him away, we've been looking for a backup center. We haven't had a backup center. Paul Reed's not a center. Mo Bamba couldn't cut it. You know, we haven't had one. So, you know, he gives Joel time to get some rest. To sit on the bench and still and we still have a presence in the paint, rebounding, you know, occasionally scoring, you know, he's still a double-double. You have to admit, you sit there and laugh, but we all know that Andre Drummond is still a double-double.
Andre Bubbin.
Okay, you sit here and laugh, and then when we play the Knicks and he got 15 and 10 or 10 and 15 boards, you're not gonna be laughing. You're gonna be like, it should be a body on him. So that's what I'm saying.
I mean,
we all know
looking for Isaiah Hartenstein.
And then, you know, able to re-sign Kelly Oubre at a great price, 2 years, 16 mil.
That was surprising to me.
Yeah, he was a huge help last season. A huge pickup, and I was, you know, we love him here in Philly. Like he definitely, you know, grew on us and embraced the city. So did
you give him a map of the city?
Oh,
when he ride his bike. You know, we
gave him Uber so that he got ride his bike. You know?
Uber for Oubre. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And then, you know, we picked up Eric Gordon, you know, a vet who still got a corner three, you know, again, someone to help us spread the floor, who can catch the ball and shoot a corner three when Joel was being double teamed. Because God forbid, all last season, how many times with Joel double or triple team, he passed the ball to someone in the corner, and it's a brick? It's like, geez, I just need somebody to shoot the ball. So we still got some more work to do. I'm hoping that Dale will work his magic, especially with those first round picks that we have, to bring in. I would like them to bring in another guard. I need another backup point guard, and I would prefer another guard to possibly start because I like Kelly coming off the bench. You know, I look at him as like my sixth man, my first guy off the bench, the energy guy. But other than that, I'm happy. We're going in the right direction. We still got some work to be done. Yeah. What about the Knicks? You know, we all know what happened down there.
You know, I think that, you know, we've made some moves, and we got, you know, some situations that we have to deal with. I'm satisfied. Isaiah Hartenstein didn't want to stay. He left. Good riddance. I didn't like him anyway. But again, with the team that we have right now, we're gonna make some moves. We're gonna do what we need to do as long as we can stay healthy. I mean, that was our, you know, Achilles heel. No pun intended. For real. You know. Yeah. You know, and where's Julius Randle gonna fit in all of this? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know, we got, you know, the guy that's gonna, you know, lead us, you know, on the floor, Jalen Brunson. We got his running mates from school. You know what I mean? So he can feel comfortable, which is a great thing. People are calling the Knicks a serious bona fide title contender, but I don't know because, you know, Mitchell Robinson is more of a patient on the injured list than, you know, on the floor.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to have to really, you know, at least give us 65 games, at least. But we know that it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I think that we could contend, but like you said earlier in the show, the Boston Celtics kind of like just walked through the league and walked right straight to the trophy and got it, and they earned it. So the Knicks are definitely going to have to stay healthy. You know, that cohesiveness is going to have to, you know, build this up again because you have to put Julius Randle back in the mix.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we're going to see what it is with Thibodeau and how he's going to react to you know, what we got going on right now. Why can't the Bulls or deal with what they have to deal with a situation like DeMar DeRozan. Why doesn't anybody want DeMar DeRozan?
I don't think the fact that nobody wants DeMar DeRozan. I think it's the fact that no one wants to deal with the Bulls organization. The Sixers have had their back and forth with the Bulls for about 2 years. For 2 years, we've been trying to get Zach LaVine. Zach has made it clear to Chicago that he don't want to be there. Chicago kind of made it clear to Zach that they're ready to move on with him by their draft picks. They just gave
Patrick Williams.
Patrick Williams
5 years, $90 million.
So what is that telling you? That we're ready for Zach to go. We're ready for DeMar to go. But for some reason, the Bulls organization, they just can't negotiate properly, and no one wants to deal with them. DeMar is ready to go. The perfect team for him right now would be the Lakers, truthfully.
It would be the Knicks.
The Knicks?
You know what I mean?
The Knicks. I said the Lakers. I didn't say the Knicks.
You said the Lakers.
Yeah, because where would he play on the Knicks?
He's from out there. But I'm saying if we could trade that's why I said I would go for it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. That's why I said that would be the best spot for him. Especially for him. He wants to win now, he can go back home. And Zach LaVine, we've been trying to get this guy for 2 years. They said they wanted draft picks. We traded James Harden just to get the draft picks for you, and they keep playing games. I don't know. It's something with the Bulls organization. Their front office is all jacked up. Their front office been bad since I'll go
Jerry Krause.
Yep. Yeah. Krause.
Kentavious Caldwell Pope went to Orlando.
I think he's just chasing money now.
31 years old. He's getting 3 years for $22 million. $22 million a season.
Yeah, that's a lot for a role player.
Yeah, they Denver Nuggets. They lost Bruce Brown.
Yeah.
Then they wouldn't pay to keep KCP.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I just think that Denver, they're relying a lot on Jokic, a fragile Jamal Murray.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and hopefully they won't forget about them being a recent NBA champion. Because look what happened to the Milwaukee Bucks. They were they got a ring a few years back. So again, you look at these free agent moves and things of that nature. The biggest fish out there is LeBron James.
Yeah.
You talk about that's basically one of those like Derek Jeter type things. He's not going anywhere.
He's not going anywhere. But what's crazy with LeBron is that he's even saying that he's willing to take a pay cut, which is one of the reasons why he hasn't signed the contract yet, because he's trying to get help. He knows he's trying to right his wrongs from the past. Because he know that he destroyed the Lakers by making them trade all the young guys and bring in all of his old buddies. It didn't work out. Now you in this space where you don't really have money. You don't really have trade capital.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have nothing that nobody wants except for your two stars, truthfully. So he knows that he has to sit back and he has to, he's going to take less money, but who wants to play there? You got JJ Redick as your head coach. We have to keep that in mind.
And you have to be a role model for LeBron James Jr. You know what I'm saying? So it's that whole scenario, man. I think they painted themselves into a corner. And I want to talk about that situation where I think people get the definition of the nepotism thing wrapped around being a powerful entity in a situation that you can hold all the weight and hold all the cards. And I think that's what LeBron did in this situation, and he made it possible for his son. But to me, the way they went about it I don't have no problem with him doing that. That's what you're supposed to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But how you go about it, you didn't. And to me, that's really a non-factor as well. Because now that I think about it, Rich Paul didn't even have to do that. Because
No,
literally wasn't nobody checking for LeBron James Jr.
no,
like that.
it wasn't nobody really checking for him, and I don't think that was LeBron doing. I feel like Rich Paul did it out on his own. I have no problem with the Lakers drafting him. I have no problem with LeBron, maybe pushing it to happen because, like you said, these are things that happen with the others all the time. We have seen head coaching jobs go to a former head coach's son. We have seen coaches coach their son. We have seen generations of owners pass the team off to their children
Right.
who have no knowledge of the sport or how to run
right.
a
Right.
team.
Let's go, Browski.
Okay, so if people have a problem with LeBron pushing the calls to get his son into the NBA, then they are the problem. Is it why? Because he's black? That's what it is. Because he's black. No. Listen, I love Luke Walton, but I know for a fact Luke got a head coaching job because his father's Bill Walton. We all love Bill. We all know for a fact that the reason why Austin Rivers was in the NBA for 11 seasons is because his dad is Doc Rivers, and his dad brought him onto the team, brought him onto the Clippers team. He was on the Clippers for about 6 years, 6, 7 years. Come on now.
I mean,
bus.
JB Bickerstaff. It's a whole
it's a whole list. I mean, we can look at any successful franchise. Look at the Cowboys. Do you think Jerry Jones' son and daughter, who are both vice presidents, will have that title if their last name was Jones?
Or if somebody else owned the team.
Yeah, we see it in the corporate world. We have seen this. This has been going on since the beginning of time. Okay, going back to the ages of kings. Kings will bring their son up, knowing that this guy shouldn't rule anything. But just because that's my son, guess what? He's going to rule this country when I'm dead. Right. So this is how the world works. With people in position of power. So just get over it.
Let's look down the line a little bit. What do you see happening? Because Summer League starts next week. What do you see, Ronnie? Do you think is he making an immediate impact, or is he going to gradually get better by the time we get to opening night?
I think it's going to be a slow burn. I mean, we only had a sample size of him in USC.
Right.
It was a very slow burn there. He only averaged 4.8 points. We got to be realistic here. Okay? When he's in Summer League, he's going to be going against the best of the best that got drafted this season. A lot of French guys. I'm going to throw it out there. This draft has been a bunch of French guys went in the top 10. A lot of tall French guys who can shoot.
That's crazy. A lot
of tall French guys that can shoot the ball. So I think it's going to be a slow burn, but I see the potential there. He just going to have to really work hard. Now that he's in the league, he now has to show what he has. Because he can't rely on his dad. He can't rely on that last name on the back of his jersey anymore. And if he don't believe that, he can just look at Milwaukee and look at Thanasis, who been sitting at the edge of that bench for about 4 or 5 seasons in Milwaukee.
Smiling, grinning, getting money, getting money on top of money.
exactly clapping. You know,
because his brother said so.
Exactly. So he is going to have to really show what he's made of. He's going to have to work twice as hard because of his name. He definitely going to have to work twice as hard. And I don't think it's going to be easy. And they're not going to make it easy on him.
I said earlier on a Facebook post that they were going to treat LeBron James Jr. like Caitlin Clark. And what I meant by that is that they're gonna bump him around because that's what they do.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna make it hard on him. You know what I mean? And to prove a point that we worked hard to get here. We know you worked hard too, but the advantage is all yours. Now you got to make the most of it. What are you gonna do now? You're here. The lights are on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I hope that he learns. Do I see a G League stint? Yes. I think the G League, if he doesn't make the opening night roster, I think send him down to the G League. Now then I think that's where you're gonna, to me, you might get some complications going on. Does LeBron really want him on the roster that bad, or do he want to develop his game?
Well, the way that the Lakers are putting it now, they're saying that he already earned his way onto the team, and they gave him like a guaranteed contract. Yeah. There's
D'Angelo Russell loves that.
Yeah, well, the way that they're stating it is that he has a spot on the team already. But those are just words right now that just being said before we see any summer league action, because all of that can just be thrown out the window, especially if he's not performing in summer league and in the preseason. So it's going to be, we're going to see a lot in preseason. Like summer league, it's a bunch of rookies and a bunch of guys who are not going to make the team, But in preseason, that's when we're going to really see if he a boy playing amongst men. We definitely want to see in preseason.
You got to act like you're chilling. It seems like we have company. Hello, how are you?
I'm good, and yourself?
All right, welcome to Down in Sports Talk. What's your name? Where you calling from?
My name's Aaron. I'm calling out of Delaware.
Oh, okay.
What's up?
What's up?
I was just
go ahead.
Now I was just calling in and checking in because I just had a couple questions about the WNBA. My first question is who's even like the rookie of the year?
Oh, well, that right there is what we call a tough race. Mainstream media is going to throw you at Caitlin Clark because she's, the hot topic right now. She's what everybody's being thrown into. The last couple games, she has been coming around and, scoring more consistently. But in my eyes, I will say Angel Reese. She right now holds the most consecutive double-doubles by a rookie. She has the most offensive rebounds held. And I just think Angel really has been balling from day one in the WNBA. Before Cameron Brent got hurt, she was definitely one of the top ones also, but unfortunately she tore up her knee. So to me, it's a two-woman race, but I believe that mainstream media is going to throw Caitlin at you and tell you that she's the clear front runner. But if you're truly watching the league and watching these games and really paying attention, Angel Reese has been balling crazy against tough competition. She's going against the Jonquel Jones. She's going against the Tina Charles. Like, these are future Hall of Famers that she's battling with night in, night out there in the paint. But that's just my opinion.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you the other side. I feel like Caitlin Clark is going to be the name that you're going to hear, but Angel Reese is definitely put in the work. I think that the point that's going to separate them is who gets into the playoffs and who doesn't. I think that the Chicago Sky, with Teresa Weatherspoon as their coach, they are on that trajectory where they should be able to make a strong playoff run in the second half of the season. The Indiana Fever they're trying. They're absolutely trying. They're playing a little bit better basketball. Go ahead, because Boston is showing up now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, the Fever right now are in 8th spot. Chicago's in 9th spot right now. So the playoffs start today. The Fever would have the last spot.
Right.
But like you said, it's still a lot of time. We still got the All-Star break plus the Olympic break also. So
and plus they got the fact that they're gonna have to probably see each other a couple of times in the second half if they play in the same division. So it's gonna be interesting to see and keep an eye on that Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark Rookie of the Year matchup. What's your next question?
Let me see. So, who do you think are the all stars for the WNBA this season?
Oh, go ahead, y'all.
Man. So you definitely gotta throw in Asia Wilson from the Aces. She's been averaging about 26 points a game, about 12 rebounds. She's been balling, from opening tip to the end. Even though their record is not really reflecting that, I would say, because the competition is a little bit more tougher this season. I will also have to put in Kalia Copper from the Phoenix Mercury. She's been balling. Drew Lord from the Seattle Storm. She's been going crazy there. I would have to also put Nafisa Collier from Minnesota. Also, shout out to Minnesota Lynx because they won the Commissioner Cup this season.
Why you have to bring that up?
Hey, I gotta bring that up because they was a dark horse and they came out of nowhere and they took the cup.
They made a move the game, man.
Yeah,
they made a move the game, yo.
They did.
Shout out to the Minnesota Lynx, though.
Definitely shout out to them. I will also probably have to go with Alyssa Thomas from out of Connecticut. Also, Dejanay Carrington from out of Connecticut Sun too. She's a great defender. Super high impact on the floor. A lot of energy. Man, it's so many. Like this season have been really, really excellent. I mean, you always got Brianna Stewart, from the Liberty. Sabrina Ionescu also. It's so much talent out here that this All-Star race, I believe, also will be just as tight as the Rookie of the Year. Like these awards for the WNBA this season, like there's no clear front runner. Even with the MVP, you can name about 4 or 5 people that could be the MVP of this season. So I think the All-Star is just going to be just as tight too.
Yeah, and it's going to be very interesting to see. And they put a little wrinkle in the All-Star game this year because they said the teams are going to switch jerseys at halftime. I don't know what that's about, but they always try to put a little wrinkle into the game.
Little gimmick.
Yeah, a little gimmick that get the people to watch. But I think that you could just watch on the talent alone that is going to be playing in this All-Star game. Like Yada Bear mentioned a lot of great players already. We got Kelsey Plum, we got my girl Erica from the Dallas Wings doing her thing. And again, it's just going to be very, very interesting. Now, when you talk about All-Stars, you talk about women who are going to represent the league for years to come. Some of them are champions. Some of them are aspiring to be champions, and some of them can still get their feet wet in the league. I think that for the league to grow, it has to have participation from the inside and the outside. The WNBA is still trying to do their thing. They're doing their thing, as a matter of fact. They add an expansion in the next couple of years. But again, we always want to make sure that these women who do their thing now finally getting their notice and their praise for what they do in college, and move on to a next level and have a next level to move on to. But the
Yes.
pickings are slim at this
Yeah.
point. You know what I mean? Because we see some teams have to resort to cutting their first round draft picks.
Yeah.
And that's just this is how it goes. It's the name of the game. It's real life out here. And again, at the end of the day, you know, the WNBA is a great thing. You know, I watch the WNBA. I pay attention to it, and I think that the league is definitely, you know, it has, you know, a way to go. But Yada Bear came up with a great idea, brilliant idea, which I think that the NBA should listen to. And if you want to speak to it, Kim, you can go ahead right ahead and speak to that idea that you have.
Well, when I said
About the NBA squad should have a sister.
yeah,
team.
Each NBA team should definitely have a WNBA team. I feel like they focus so much on the G League that they forget that they have a women's professional league underneath them. So I feel like each NBA team should have a sister team. There's enough teams out there. You know, the WNBA play in the summertime. So who can play in these stadiums? You know, the WNBA. I just need more teams because there's too many ladies out there that we're not seeing because there's only 12.
There's nowhere to put them. Right.
Spots.
There's
You
nowhere
know,
for
it's
them to
only
play.
12 roster spots, and one team a year is not fast enough to grow.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I mean, also the NBA they have enough money to situate, get these teams situated because in basically every NBA city there's a WNBA team. You know, we won't talk about Philadelphia because I don't want Yada Bear to jump through the screen and get me. But you know, there's enough money to definitely have that and have the WNBA be a stronger presence. Because right now it's heartbreaking to watch these women who work so hard, you know what I mean, to fulfill their dream. They get to put the $1,000 suits on and they go to the draft and they hear their name called, and the next thing you know, they're back out on the street. No disrespect, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? So going back overseas to Russia or Europe to play basketball to make money. So that's what they have to resort to when they're not, you know, playing in the WNBA.
Yeah.
Word. So anything else you want to ask about or talk about? We appreciate the call for real. We appreciate you checking in.
Oh yeah. Much love. No, that was really basically it. Just wanted, you know, some opinions and thoughts on the matter. That's all.
All right. Tell a friend that you was on Down in Sports Talk and watch them follow you around the supermarket.
For sure, definitely will. It was nice speaking with y'all.
Yeah,
Thank you. Enjoy your evening. Take care.
Yes, you too.
All right now. See, it works when you work it. Down in Sports Talk in the building, man. We doing our thing. So yeah, the NBA free agency thing is basically kind of, you know, has it settled down. You know, the big fish is still out there, but that's really nothing to really.
It definitely settled down some. You know, you got Pascal Siakam. You know, we signed him with the Pacers. He got a bag from the Pacers. One move that was crazy to me was the fact that the Bulls actually did engage with the Warriors to try to get Wiggins and Chris Paul. The Warriors turned it down, and then they waived Chris Paul. And now Chris Paul is with the San Antonio Spurs, which to me, I think it's a brilliant move on the Spurs for them to bring in a veteran point guard
which is what they needed.
Help teach Wembanyama the game for real. You know, this NBA game. And, you know, Chris Paul called himself the point guard. You know, I'm not mad at that move. I think it was a very, very smart move on San Antonio part. Cleveland extended Donovan Mitchell. He's staying with the Cavs.
Thank you, because I did not want him on the Knicks. Period.
I think it's very I now that's also a very interesting move to me too, because when you look at the East, Cleveland, you're not doing anything in the East.
Right.
You know,
Nobody
so I'm looking at Donovan like so you chose the money.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't choose, to try to win a championship somewhere. He chose the money because what are you really doing in Cleveland? I feel like they're probably going to trade Darius Garland or their center.
Allen.
Yeah. I feel like one of those guys going to go, or maybe both. So you giving Mitchell this money, it's not going to do much for him. And also, when we look at another team like the Clippers, they got to open up this new stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Trade you let Paul George go. You let Paul George go.
They got Nicholas Batum back.
Yeah, yeah. They got Nicholas Batum back. They re-signed James Harden 2 years, $70 million. This guy, like how much more money does this guy need? It's ridiculous.
Right.
How much more money? This guy will make almost $1 billion just on NBA contracts alone. So, and they have Kawhi Leonard, and it's like you have Kawhi who's never healthy, who I actually starting to think now hates playing basketball. I truly is starting to believe that Kawhi Leonard is like he's done playing basketball. He's just here,
And we're gonna leave that on that note right there. We're gonna pick up on NBA free agency. It's time because we got to get ready to get up out of here.
Oh yeah, we got to talk about
4th of July baseball temperature check. Yada Bear's gonna start with her Phillies, and if she wants to go to the National League, she can go ahead. That's where we are right now. Shout out to Windwalker though, man. Shout out to the icon Windwalker.
Yes, the temperature here in Philly, we like lukewarm right now. Okay, the fact that 2 of our big bats are both injured at the same time, during the same game for the same amount of time. Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber are both on the shelf, 10-day IL. Bryce has a hamstring injury, and Kyle has a groin injury. It's crazy that 2 of our biggest backs go down same game. We're still waiting for JT to come back. He's taking batting practice in the cage, so hopefully we'll have him soon. Maybe after the All-Star break. I know. I'm pretty sure that Bryce and Kyle are going to come back after the All-Star break, which is fine. That's why it was so important for us to have this hot start, because look at this. In the middle of summer, early injuries are going on. Yeah. It's like that's why it's so important for your teams to start out hot, because when you have these injury problems, you have a nice little league. You can afford to lose a couple games, not too much, But we're still in a great place, still top of the, NL East. We're on top of, Major League Baseball, best record. Got it back, Right now, we're playing in Chicago. We up 3-1 in the bottom of the 3rd. Bullpen still looking strong, healthy, and we're just waiting for that All-Star break. I'm very, very happy where we at right now. I couldn't ask for a better start of the season, and I'm just going to leave that right there. I'm going to leave it right there. It's still early. It's only the 4th of July. We still got a good 3 months of baseball. We got a good 3 months of baseball to go. So I'm just going to leave it right there. The rest of the NL, Dodgers, doing Dodgers things. Shohei hitting bombs after bombs. It's getting a little ridiculous out there. It seems like every pitch that's being thrown to him, I feel like he's hitting a home run at least in every game almost he plays in. It's like a home run a game almost. We also have Milwaukee is starting to heat up. So It should be an interesting race in the NL. I'm really curious about the AL because the fight between the Yankees and the Baltimore Orioles look like it's going to be like back and forth the whole like second half of the season. You know, your race is tighter than my race. You know, we got a good lead on Atlanta right now, so we're not too concerned with them. But when I look over at the AL East, I'm like, wow, you guys are in a dogfight. You know, so let me hear about that.
Yeah, absolutely. We in a dogfight. We knew it was going to be a dogfight. We just wanted to be able to participate in that dogfight. We didn't want the Orioles to have like a 9-10 game lead on us, knowing what we were bringing into the season. So far so good. Recently, we've played better baseball. We've tailored 2 starts from Garrett Cole. You know what I mean, coming back from his injury. One start was decent, another start was not. First place in the American League East right now is a tie between us and the Orioles, which is going. We knew that going in. I said, we said that going in that the summertime is going to be crazy in the American League East. The team I'm watching in the AL East is the Boston Red Sox. All of a sudden, they're starting to come up out of creep up on a come up. They're 8.5 games back, but they're creeping on the come up. So watch what the Red Sox do. Jaron Duran is going to be a star. I think he's going to be the next guy for Boston. He's a star. I watch him play. He reminds me of like what Ronald Acuna used to do in the National League. You know what I mean? Jaron Duran brings that to the American League. I mean, when you talk about guys like Gunnar Henderson for Baltimore, 26 home runs, he's going to be in the home run derby. Those guys ain't going nowhere. You know what I mean? The Toronto Blue Jays, they handled their business, but look where they're at, though. They're in last place. Yeah. So when you talk about American League, it's really tight. Remember I said at the beginning of the season, I said the Kansas City Royals are going to win the American League Central. I didn't say they're going to tie, they're going to make a wild card. I said the Kansas City Royals are going to win the American League Central. Right now, they're 7 games back, which is, par for the course right now for them. I see Cleveland and Minnesota doing their thing. Cleveland's not running away with anything. By such imagination. They got a nice, healthy 6-game lead. But as we all know, that American League Central is going to cannibalize itself. I think that the Detroit Tigers could be a team that could have some say about who wins the division. The Chicago White Sox, they're trying. You know what I mean? They're going to have to, get on the good foot if they don't want to lose 120 games. I see them lose.
I mean, they're on the verge of right now. They
24.
They got 62 losses already.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So, again, and in that American League West, I look at Seattle Mariners. I look at them with like, whatever. You know what I mean? Talk to me in September. Julio Rodriguez is the quietest superstar in the league.
Yes,
you know what I mean? Is it because he's playing out in Seattle? No. It's because their team is suspect. And as far as him being a leader of the squad, that's who he is. But has he shown that to a grander audience on a scale where say, okay, the Seattle Mariners are playoff material? I don't think so. The Texas Rangers, defending world champions, they just kind of like fell apart. But again, they're 8 games under 500. And what are they going to do in the second half? They're getting their guys back. Again, you win that championship, you get fat and lazy. You know what I mean? In other words, you just feel like, it's going to come easy. And it's not. The same guys, the Jonah Heims of the world and the Simeons of the world, those guys aren't having those banner years like they had last year. And I think that Scherzer throwing recently was a positive sign for them. But I think that again, they got a tough road to hoe. And I think the toughest road to hoe is going to be for Seattle Mariners. Because what's going to happen in September, like last year, when you got a lead and you're playing hot and you're doing this, and we got all these people that are Seattle Mariners fans popping up, and now when they blow the lead and they're nowhere to be found. So that's why that's the esteem that I hold the Seattle Mariners, and they got to show and prove first.
I mean, especially because you got you got Houston
right
creeping up right behind them. They're only 3 games back. They're creeping up right behind, and they doing it quietly too.
Right.
You know,
but my thing is going to be the trade deadline.
Yeah.
The Astros are going to trade Alex Bregman. If the Astros do trade Alex Bregman, I hope he goes to the Yankees.
I hope he don't.
I hope he goes to the Yankees, because if he goes to the Yankees, then we in the mix. Then we can get serious about what we do.
A lot of teams definitely need to make a trade. I feel like my team, we need a trade. We just need like
what's up with Ranger Suarez, man?
Say again.
What's up with Ranger Suarez? Ever since they had his family came to watch him pitch, he been doing that so good.
No, I wouldn't say he's not been so good. It's just that he just not been so good.
All right.
But I mean, he had a hot start. He's not gonna go undefeated.
Okay, I dig it.
He's not gonna go undefeated. And plus, when you play a team like, especially like the Marlins are always a team that sometimes they just catch you at the right moment, and next thing you know, their best that's connecting with anything, you know. And
the Marlins are so bad they got rid of Tim Anderson. Ever since Tim Anderson got punched in the mouth, he ain't been the same.
He been the same since he got punched in the mouth, man.
Absolutely, he ain't been the same since he got punched in the mouth.
And he hasn't been the same since his business.
Oh yes,
Instagram.
Yeah,
he ain't been the same since then. Look. Here's a quick question. What are we doing with the Cardinals? What are we doing with
St. Louis Cardinals?
Yeah.
Listen, you know, I always talk about the Cardinals like, yo, they're gonna do some things, they're gonna win the division. Whoop-de-whoop. They're over 500. They're 6 games back. I just want them to see if they're going to be a factor. I just want to see if the St. Louis Cardinals can be a factor. Because it seems like, the teams like the Pirates and Cincinnati, they don't want it. The Cubs, who were supposed to, be tough, but they're only 7 games under 500. We'll see. The second half, like you said, the trade deadline, July 15th.
Trade deadline is going to change a lot.
It's going to change a lot, and I think a lot of teams are going to be buyers, and I don't know about sellers. Like, if we're in the race, I'm not going to be so active.
I'm not selling nobody for real,
unless you're going to really, knock my boots off with a deal that can help me improve and get to October. The teams in the National League West, they all looking up at the Dodgers. They're not trustworthy either. You know what I mean? Arizona's proven that they were a fluke. You know what I mean? Even though they're 2 games under 500 right now, you know what I mean? The Dodgers are gonna, run away with that division. The Dodgers will probably end up getting what was we just talking about right now for third base? What was we just talking about for third base for the
I can't think.
Anyway,
can't think of his name.
The Dodgers, man, they just look like they're going to run away with the division, and we'll see what happens in the postseason. And Alex Bregman.
Yeah, Bregman. Yeah,
that's what we talking about.
Now, you know what's crazy? They was talking about how like Shohei can win MVP as a DH. Like, has that ever happened? I don't know if that a DH.
I don't remember. I don't remember. Recall. I don't. I mean, I think about. I don't know if Hal McRae from Kansas City Royals, he was a DH. I don't know if he won the MVP. I don't think he won the MVP though.
Yeah, like to me, that's crazy to me that you're just batting. You're not pitching, not playing in the field, but you can win MVP. That's a little wild to me.
Yeah, that is different, but I think that it had a better another effect back in the day when the DH was used, because again, it helped extend your career. Some guys was just strictly, because remember it was only in the American League.
Yeah.
So if you were, at the end of your career or stuff like that, you can, get on with an American League team and be a DH. Hal McRae, very effective. Again, I think that, Shohei just being a DH and winning the MVP, I think he's gonna have. A monster year.
He would have to break the home run record, right? He would have to break.
Yeah, I think he would have to. He would have to break the home run record. He would have to do a whole lot of stuff to win the MVP as a DH. That's crazy. That's crazy. We're gonna get down on what we get down on like we do every week before we get up out of here. Y'all, bear what's good with you? What you getting down on this week?
I'm getting down on the Summer Olympics. I love the Summer Olympics. I love watching the Olympic trials. I love the build up to the Summer Games. There was a lot of track and field trials was going down last weekend. Also gymnastics. Salute to Simone Biles. Making her third Olympic team in gymnastics. And I'm really excited for it. I'm also excited for flag football, Olympic flag football, and left-handed favorite, breakdancing. I'm really
absolutely. To see let's go.
How they are going to really score the breakdancing. What beats they're going to be breakdancing.
Yeah, that's what I want to hear. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, and are they going to have some live performance with artists or some DJs? Are they going to be some legit famous DJs? To DJ the breakdance competition, because you can't just go out there and just throw a record on. No, you gotta.
Gotta hype up the set.
Hype up the set. I need to know how they're gonna have it staged. Is it just gonna be on a stage and you just got groups of people breakdancing? Is it it's very interesting to see. Right. That's what I'm getting down on. Getting ready for the Summer Olympics and seeing some of these new activities: breakdancing, flag football, 3-on-3 basketball.
Right.
That's going to be interesting. And, of course, the Olympics, the men and the women's basketball team, swimming. Surprisingly, I love diving too. I always feel diving and synchronized diving, platform diving is one of my favorite things to watch, because I think it's super interesting in how two people could be so in sync doing these dives at such a fast pace, so I'm all for the Olympics. What you getting down on?
I'm getting down on these national sportscasters, national sportscasters, and these guys that got to make the big bucks, and they got the bigger platforms, and they got the bigger audiences. They always talking about how when they don't see something happen in the world of sports, how nobody else saw it.
What's
I feel like, I'm getting down on that, because again, it's a lot more people out there that talk sports than your little inner circle. And again, I feel like you should say nobody. You should just say, well, I didn't see it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Again, because again, there's a lot of other people out here that do see it, but you don't see it a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like we deserve that much respect, because we see the same thing that you see, but a lot of times, instead of looking for the clicks or the likes or the views, we just go say how we feel. And I feel like more often than not, we get it pretty much on the head, more often than not. So I feel like, for those people out there, I don't say no names because we know who they are. You know what I mean? For them to say nobody saw X, Y, and Z coming is not cool. You know what I mean? Figure that out. And we know you watching. We see you.
Yeah.
Right?
Go ahead, before we go, we have to chime in real quick about this fight this weekend.
Oh yeah, Shakur Stevenson.
Yes.
Shakur Stevenson. Yeah, I mean, I wanted to get your thoughts on it. We talked about it a little bit behind the scenes. What are you thinking about this fight? Going down at the Prudential Center on Saturday night. Shakur.
Yeah. Like you said, we talked behind the scenes about it, and I'm gonna stand on what I said. I need to see him put in some work. I don't want to see a quick knockout. I don't want to see him dancing around the ring. I don't want to see him throwing straight rights or straight lefts and trying to, charge up that knockout punch. I want to see Shakur in there dominating the match. I want to see him cut off the ring. I want to see him be the aggressor. I want to see him use the jab and then follow up with some combinations. Can I get a 3-punch combination? Can I get a 5-punch combination? Can I see you land some really big hits? Can I see you take some hits? Can I see your defense? Because his last fight, what he did, he was just dancing around the ring, and I need more. Last fight was a huge disappointment. Very few punches were thrown. I just need to see what he can give us, And if you do knock the guy out in like the 6th or 7th round, that's fine. But from rounds 1 through 5, can I see some work? Can I see you put in some work? That's all I want to see.
I think that Shakur fighting Arturian.
Yeah.
Yeah. I tried. It's gonna be a tale of two stories. Does Shakur go in there and try to prove a point to the other fighters in this weight class, this division, and other fighters in boxing period that he is the number one guy, and try to go for the quick knockout? Or does he try to get some rounds in? And that's like, and we talked about it behind the scenes. You're not carrying the guy, but you just want to get in some work. Because if you knock this guy out in the first round, the second round, what does it really prove? We knew you was going to knock the guy out anyway. That's all they're going to say. So if he takes you 6 to 7 rounds and you dominate every single round, you end every round when you hear that 10-second knock, you really turn it up. You get busy. You make people remember the end of those rounds. Then by the time the 6 to 7 round, you got your work in, you worked up a little sweat. This dude is all lumped up. Get him out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Then you talk your junk to the other fighters and say, you call out whoever you need to call out. Because again, a lot of time has passed. Well, we need to see one of these dudes show improve and stand on their business, be it Tank Davis, be it Shakur Stevenson, and whatever other fighter you want to throw in that third thing right there. We need to see those dudes get busy and preferably against each other. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So that's where we at with it right now. Down in Sports Talk, we in the building. We in your face, in your eye every Tuesday night, 8:15. I am left-handed. Get at me on X, aka Twitter, at RM Desk. That's my code D in the building right there. You got a bear in the house. You know what it is. You know what we do. We out. Hopefully y'all enjoy the rest of y'all summer. You know what I mean?
Happy 4th.
And come back and join us next week. You know what I mean? We'll be right here making it do what it do. That's Yada Bear right there, y'all. Y'all make sure y'all get in touch with Yada Bear. She got it going on, all right? Down in Sports Talk, we out, man. We catch up to y'all Tuesday. Peace.
Peace.